Good morning, friends, and happy Saturday. I'm just getting the day going here after crashing some Discord this morning and having a little lazy start to the day. I realized that I was in my own chat waiting for it to start, and you guys don't get the intro, you don't get the countdown timer, you don't get anything. It's just kind of like, bam, you deal with my ugly mug jumping right at you first thing. That's kind of a drag. So maybe I need to make a longer theme song or use a longer intro. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But happy Saturday nonetheless. Uh, Lots of things going on this weekend for people. I know that Baltimore Comic Con's in full swing. So I know some of you are enjoying that. I know that it's Batman weekend. I know there's a lot going on there. Mark is mentioning the Christopher Reeve tribute. There's a lot of comic book content dropping. Agatha all along. I've already lost track of all the other ones because I'm not passionate, excited about any of them. I hear good things. I don't hear any bad things about any of them. There's some animated stuff, I think. Just none of it was like must see TV for me at this point, or go to the theater and see it. But lots of good things out there floating around for people to enjoy. Let's say hello to the chat because we got some homies in the chat like Ruby Guzman, my neighbor, I guess to the nearby now because he's like 10 or 15 minutes away from me. And we got Perry, my Discord hangout homie. We got Legion of Comics. What's going on, Mark? Happy Saturday to you. Hope things are going well in your neighborhood. What else do we got? Not much going on here. We got Robert, the G Spot. What is going on? G-Man Galvin, how you doing? Downright Nerdy Podcast. Michael and Riley, what are you two doing this morning? What's going on with your little one these days? How are things? We got Steve from Hip Hops. What's going on? I'm trying to hit a couple of shops. I think this weekend, Steve, because I want to get Ruben Guzman out and go see some books with him. So we'll see what's going on with him. So it was Agatha, it was Penguin. God, that was the one I heard the best stuff about. Chaos, Transformers 1, that was the animated thing, and watched Superman later today. All right, there you go. Hopefully the original Christopher Reeve, I'm assuming is what you mean. And I heard this. This is what I heard. Good stuff. We got Carlito Classico. He's going to enjoy the movie portion of this morning's show. So thank you for coming by, Carlito. We got Brooklyn in the chat. What is going on, Brooklyn? I hope things are going well on that coast. Robert says, watched it. No, not bad so far. Agatha the Penguin, not sure so far. Okay. Everybody's got their opinions. You can enjoy it or not, or whatever you feel the need. My newest moderator, Christina Payne, Blue Wrench Extraordinaire in the chat. What's going on, Christina? Happy Saturday to you. I missed you in the Discord this morning. I was stuck there with Marcus and all his trolling stuff. Good Lord. Don't need any of that. Nobody needs that. Rod the Rican, he's got a busy Saturday going on. I appreciate him coming by and saying hello. What's going on? What is going on? We got Lady B. Bethany is in the chat. What's going on? How are you doing? This Super Slash Man is the Christopher Reeve documentary movie. There it is. Boom. Appreciate the clarification, sir. Thank you for that. So very grateful for people coming by and saying hello in their Saturday morning. If you're back east, it's pretty much lunchtime. What's going on, Terry? And I got my latest Lego build finished. I know you saw me if you were tuned in last week. I was working on this Lego build from Batman the Animated Series. So happy Batman Day to you all. This is now finished, looking stellar. Might be my favorite Batmobile build that I've got. It's got, bump the mic. It's got front tilting windscreen to get Batman out. It's got the flames that spin with the tires in the back. It even has guns that can mount. So I believe it's supposed to go like that. Yeah. So if you want the guns on the front, I prefer it a little more sleek without the guns, but that's just me. Killer design. I know this is the second iteration because they did a much larger version. But this is the one that's in stores now. You can find this at Lego stores or whatever near you or online, but a really cool design. Oh, and I've got, of course, now I've added it to my Batman 89. Obviously, another great design that I just did before that one. Love it. So cool. And the tumbler, of course, I've got the Nolan era tumbler, which I always really liked this design. I know it's not a fan among some comic fans, but I did really enjoy it. And I've got a different one. This is just a Lego version, like just one of the many versions Lego has done over the years that I thought was kind of fun. It still has not been destroyed at my house. Still going strong. It's got the Batmobile logo on the tires there. And then the last one of my other faves, of course, I've got the Batman 89. Even got Cesar Romero's Joker sitting in there and Adam West on this side. So I've got the old classic television series Batmobile as well. Rocking that one. So there you go. Those are my Batmobiles for Happy Batman Day, my Legos. Let's see here. Tumbler was great. Can deny its utility. There you go. That's fair. 89 is GOAT. I respect that as well. Thank you, Christina, for dropping the link for Jennifer's GoFundMe. Obviously, this is ongoing. And if you've watched my latest Instagram video on this topic, I'm looking for people that want to come up with crazy things they want me to do that hey, you donate the money and you've got an idea for something that you want me to, you want me to read something, watch something, do something, get engaged with something, drop me the link, tell me what you want to pay for that, and we'll see what we can do. I know that Inja Binja's got some design for John in Hoochie Daddy shorts. I don't think anybody else is going to want to see that. I might lose some subscribers there. I know that Old Wolf, he's been sharing some ideas. This is the one that Perry's considering. I don't know that he wants to share his YouTube money, but yeah. Will he get the Ted Lasso stash back? I don't even know. How much to live stream watch this night? Well, I mean, obviously I couldn't show it, right? I would have to be on like Discord or something. Otherwise I'm going to get hit with some kind of copyright drill, right? Not the beard. Keep the stash. There it is. Shave my head. There you go. See, Robert Galvin's got some ideas. So yes, click the link if you want to donate for Jen. But if you've got an idea, I donated $100 last year so that I could slap the bearded comic bro. Worth it. Totally worth it. Jigs Kingdom donated $100 because he wanted me to join his Discord an hour a week. I did my hour this week, just this morning. So give those ideas out, share them out, and let's see if we can just continue to keep some fun motivation and donating going for Jennifer. I got my stack of comics that I have purchased this last week. I got a couple of half-off trades. This is the complete Reginald Hudlin run of Black Panther. Really great artwork for this series. I really thought this was a stellar series overall. I know some of it's got the JRJR treatment, and you'll just have to deal with some of that. But some really cool stuff. I like the look of these. I have several of these issues, and I have not read the entire run. And my shop had basically a brand new trade paperback, and I was like, "Yeah, let's grab this paperback and take that home." So for 50% off, your boy's going to jump right in on that. We got DJ Wise. What's going on, DJ? Good to see you. We got Magic Lasso in the chat. What's going on, Lasso? Happy Saturday, my man. Yeah, Kate's asleep and Charlie's starting to wake up. She has a soccer game in about an hour, so she's got to get geared up for that. And that's when I log out of here. I'm going to be rolling to the soccer game. Happy Saturday to Air Spider. Hope you're doing well. If you explore, I think there might be one. I don't know what that means. I don't know who he's talking to. I'll keep an eye out. And I appreciate you, Christina. Thank you so much. The other trade I got was an awesome collection of early Monica Rambeau. So all of her early appearances, that Amazing Spider-Man annual, her early Avengers appearances. So a ton of great comics all in one volume. Her like mini series that she had in the 80s. So a lot of that stuff I've read and owned, but to have it all in one place, I picked this up. I loved the cover. I thought it was a lot of fun. It has the traditional costume on the back as well. I am a Monica Rambeau fan. And as much as I love Carol Danvers, Carol was always Ms. Marvel to me. And Monica is always Captain Marvel to me. When I started reading comics, this was Captain Marvel. And Marvel had been long deceased. And I never really read Marvel until I got a lot older. For me personally, Rambeau is Captain Marvel and will always be my Captain Marvel. That was just the way, because she was the leader of the Avengers. When I was reading comics as a kid, the leader of the Avengers was Monica Rambeau, and the leader of the X-Men was Storm. Like, these awesome powerhouse ladies were like running Marvel teams at the time. That was me, just as a young guy growing up. So yeah, there's another one at my shop, and it has a cover using this costume, but something about this cover I really thought was cool. And my shop had both of them in the 50% off bins, and I was like, well, I'm just going to get that. She is binary. I do love binary too. But Carol's always been Ms. Marvel to me, because that's the stuff I first read when I was introduced to her before she became binary and on and on. Ms. Marvel with the black suit, right? With the red sash and the lightning bolt. That's the look. That's the one I like for sure. Synthetic Panels. Happy Saturday. Hope things are going well in your world. So I picked up those two trades, each of them for like 15 or 20 bucks. Yeah, so half off. I thought, yes, I'm getting both of those. And then my new issues for this week, I had to get at least a Dazzler book. I mean, look, she's finally getting her solo series for the first time in a long time. I thought this cover was fantastic, so I was like, yep, I'll grab that. And then I had to get the new Wonder Woman issue. This cover is the one that spoke to me. I just love the Through the Ages look. It reminds me of the Russell Dodderman ones that he was doing for Marvel, where he had all the different costumes for a given character on the front. I think Dodderman was crushing those, and these feel reminiscent of that, with the line up of almost like all the action figures or something like that. But really cool. I love the look of these. So this was the cover. I was like, I got to get that one. So this is the one I snagged. Add it to the main page so people don't have to click so hard. You want me to pin Jen's link? Is that what that comment is? I think that's knocked over some Legos. I think that's what he's trying to say in Carlito speak. I think that's what he's trying to say. And I will drop her link and I will pin it as you wish. As you wish, monsieur. I will say she is almost to 29,000, which is amazing. We've added a bunch this last few weeks. So, he's talking to Perry. Well, I'm going to do this instead, and I'm going to pin this up at the top so that Jen's link is always there. How's that? I should have done it at the beginning, but I'm doing it now. Did it pin? I don't think it pinned. Pin message. There it is. Now it's pinned. Dun, 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 dun. And then I got one other thing this week, and this is going to be something that I'm going to be giving away, I guess you could say, during the C3 Comics Curing Cancer auction. My channel on October 5th, so 2 weeks away. October 5th, I'm going to be running a couple hours for the Comics Curing Cancer event. And during that time, anybody who donates during my show will have a prize wheel where I'm giving away things to say thank you to people. Every $25, you get on the wheel. I'm going to have a ton of stuff to give away. I'm going to have an X-Men box with slabs and keys. I'm going to have a Batman box with slabs and keys. I'm going to have trade paperbacks and hardcovers. I'm going to have, as I did last year and the year before, Albert Loves Comics. He's going to have a bunch of his amazing original notebook pieces he's making with comic book art. So he's making some stuff to give away for me too. I think I've got a Anachronic Comics Joe. He's donating a giveaway box for my show. So there's going to be a ton of stuff. If you're donating during that hour or those 2 hours, you can win a lot of cool stuff, including I'm adding to the Batman box one of these awesome Neil Adams issues. So this is a Batman issue 244, I think. 237. My bad. Sorry, 237. Fantastic Reaper. I mean, this cover is iconic. It's amazing, and I'm throwing it in with all the other Batman stuff you might have seen me post. And I have another Batman book on the way. That's another great key. So you can, for $25, you can get a shot at a whole box that includes this and a 9/8 slab variant with Batman on it. So there's a whole bunch of Batman goodies. In fact, I got them all right here. Why don't I just share them all? Why am I talking and not showing? Because I'm tired. I got a Batman 9/8 slab. Look at that. Awesome. This is from an issue of Deathstroke with an amazing Batman versus Deathstroke cover. I freaking love it. Gorgeous. I got some early Tim Drake key issues, right? A fun Robin classic issue. Now I've got another great Neil Adams issue. I got another one on the way. And then I got a Robin and Batgirl Year One. This is a combo story, lots of different key issues in here as far as early Robin and early Batgirl. So a whole Batman box there. Then on the X-Men side, I've got a Nakayama 9/8 variant, which is hilarious to me. I love this. Too funny. Fantastic. And I'm throwing in some great X-Men key issues. Issue 150. Look at that amazing cover. How about 201, the first Baby Cable? Freaking love that. I got 217. There's a Dazzler versus Juggernaut cover. 224. A Days of Future Past OG trade. So that's just the beginning of my X-Men box, and that's the beginning of the Batman box. Lots of goodies. There's a whole lot of shows. I'm going to be sharing links to this a ton over the next couple of weeks so that you can make sure you've hit the notifications for all the shows, so that you make sure that you're there when it kicks off. You're there for the original art auction. You're there for the big auctions on the other shows later in the weekend. You're going to be there for Cliff right before me, because Cliff's going to be doing his C3 show in the 2 hours preceding mine. It'll be just a ton of good stuff. So save a little money and be ready for 2 weeks from now, right? 2 weeks from now is my Saturday show. It kicks off, I think the whole thing sort of kicks off officially Friday the 4th. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk leading into it. A lot of shows where they're going to be sharing the kinds of stuff you can find, all that good stuff. We got Splash Page. What's going on, Mr. White Gloves? How are you doing, sir? Monty's giveaway is in full swing. I've turned in my paperwork, hopefully did my homework correctly. But I've got in my community tab his links. But of course, I know Christina is on it. She's going to be dropping his link. Of course, I got everything in. I'm ready. So my fingers crossed. I'm at least. Here's what I want, and I don't know if Monty's planning to do this or not, and maybe he can answer. I want an episode, and I think he said he's going to do it, where he is reviewing the answers of like a teacher giving grades on his assignments, right? He did it. Okay. Oh, he did not include this. This person's thrown out, right? I want to see the grades. I want to see how I scored on my test. So subscribe, join in his epic giveaway, get into that, because you really got to do it. Scotty Vaughn is in the chat. What is going on, Scotty? I hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well in Tennessee for you. Yeah, I would hope that Monty's going to do that he's going to do like mail call, go through. He doesn't necessarily need to share all the answers, but he might want to share some of the answers and just have a little fun with it, right? Hope the whole week leading into C3 is channels all over the community hyping it up and sharing it. Yes. My answer to that is yes. And anything I'm doing that week is going to be built and centered around hyping it up, sharing it out. And I'm hoping people just are hitting the notifications on all the shows so that they get the bell notifications right on their phone every time the next show goes live and all that stuff. Everyone would fail. Monty, so much hate. Come on, buddy. Have faith in us. Hopefully, I hope I did mine right. I entered, please don't grade me. Christina and I were sharing notes. Hey, is that what did you get? What did you get for number 4? What did you get? What did you get for number 3? No, I'm just kidding. Christina and I don't cheat. We're not cheating. We play this game straight, but we were laughing about it in Discord. All the prep work that we were doing. And then the funny thing was I rode around in my car with the envelope to mail for a few days and didn't go to the post office. And I just kept forgetting that I needed to stop at the post office and drop it off. So that's my own flaw. So there you go. There's the exciting things comic book related coming up for me, whether that's C3, whether that's the new things I got, the things I'm going to be reading, all that good stuff. Lots to enjoy in the coming weeks. And I hope that you're all excited for C3 and everything that's going down, because that's going to be a very enjoyable series of shows. I know that a whole slew of the community, like always, is chiming in. So very important time. Now I'm going to sidle over here a little bit because I'm going to overlay some things. What is going on, Cliff? He just finished a great show with Lady Fantastic. Loved the two of you together. That was hilarious. A lot of good fun. We got Damien, the sleepy reader. What's going on, Damien? I hope your Saturday's kicking off well. I want to talk a little bit about something. I was chatting with my mother-in-law last night about science fiction. The gentleman that she's been dating lately is a big sci-fi fan, and he apparently likes to watch old sci-fi movies. And in my head, I was like, oh, he should check out. I feel like in my mind, and then what I said out loud was, since the year 2000, I felt like there have been a slew of phenomenal science fiction movies, depending on how severely you want to diagnose them as being science fiction or not. I felt like there was just a bunch of my personal favorite science fiction movies have happened in the last 24 years, since 2000, right? Since Y2K. And I listed 3 for her that I said, oh, you should recommend these to him and he should check them out. These are for me, the best science fiction movies, and the ones that I'm going to be talking about this morning, are the ones that stick with you like a splinter, right? You can't quite get them out. And there's something about it that just stews inside of you because it forces you to think about technology or the future or where we're going as a civilization, right? And I feel like there have been a bunch of movies that fall into that category. Now, a lot of movies use sci-fi in them somewhere, but are they more of an action movie? Are they more of a horror movie? You can decide for you. But for me, I tried to pick films where the science and the technology was at the center of a really well done film. And so I've got 10 sci-fi movies that I'm recommending that people check out. Some of them are going to be big blockbusters that you're like, oh yeah, I've totally seen that. Others might be ones that you're like, I have never seen that before. How did I miss this one? So definitely some goodies in there. I made a list of 25. So I had a lot of honorable mentions, but I'm not going to go through them. If they come up in the chat, if somebody mentions them, I'll definitely shout them out. I also tried to write down any streaming platforms for these movies, because if you have that streaming platform, maybe you want to add it to your watch list if you haven't heard of them, right? So I've got 10 films I'm going to count down, and I'm going to start with the most, in my opinion, obvious of all of them. Let me find where's my branding? There it is. Scroll. This one is one that was like, I debated including it because it seems obvious, but a lot of people don't consider these sci-fi one right off the bat. They kind of lose track of them. And that's Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I think it's phenomenal. And I think it should be considered on a list of the best sci-fi movies in the last 24 years. It's top tier sci-fi, universe building, technology in a really unusual way. It's got intense character moments. I feel like it's just a wonderful ride. It doesn't even necessarily feel like a Star Wars film because the emotional weight is so significant. So for me, Rogue One is a lock. It had to be on there for me. And there are other movies that aren't on here, and I know Mark is happy with this one. I will say, like, Avatar doesn't make the list for me. I mean, it is a sci-fi movie for sure. It feels like a fantasy movie in some ways as well. But Rogue One is, for me, like leaps and bounds ahead of that for me, in the impact it had on me and how much I'm enjoying it. Will any of these make my top 50 of all time? It's possible. It's possible. Science fiction is definitely one of my favorite genres. I think I'm mostly a thriller noir fan first and foremost. But science fiction definitely ranks very high with me. as far as a genre that I really enjoy. I know. I'm a big Cameron fan. Avatar ranks low on my Cameron list. It's always going to be like second or even third tier Cameron, but that's just the guy that I am. That's my problem, I guess. It's the best Disney Star Wars film, and that's fair. I think it's just accurate. I feel like it's accurate. Okay, so that was number 10 on my list. Number 9 is a little more obscure, and I was talking to Perry about this filmmaker earlier because he was unaware of who David Bowie is, which I have a problem with that, and we can dive into that deeper another time. But David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones. Oh, sorry. By the way, Rogue One is streaming on Disney Plus. Obviously, if you have that, Gareth Edwards is the filmmaker. It's worth checking out. But Duncan Jones is the son of David Bowie, and he's made several really great science fiction films. And this one, I think, is worth your time if you've never seen Moon. It really has just one actor. Sam Rockwell is pretty much the only actor in it. There's some voice work happening, and there's some people on like computer screens and stuff. But as far as like performers in the movie, this is really a one-man show. And Sam Rockwell is superb in this movie if you've never heard of it. Duncan Jones. You're killing me here. You're killing me. But yeah, Sam Rockwell is so good in this. He's a great actor, just period. But like in this, he has a lot to really do. This movie is streaming on a service called Xumo, Xumo, and I found it through my Roku app. So it was free, and I just had to download the app and I could watch it. The concept is a man who lives on the moon running all the machines that are mining minerals from the surface of the moon, and you sign up for a certain number of years, and then you get a replacement who comes in, and you go home again, and you it's like you're just computer repair basically living on the moon. But it's a little bit about that isolation, that stir crazy cabin fever kind of thing that he's going through. A real great psychological thriller kind of piece going on as well in this. But the science is forefront, right? It's all about the sort of science of what they're doing on the moon and how it works. Really great film if you've never seen it. He also did a film, Duncan Jones also did a film called Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal, which is another science fiction kind of film. But that one felt more like a thriller action movie to me and less like a science fiction versus Moon. The science is forefront in Moon. But a really great movie. I highly recommend it. And I think Duncan Jones is a solid filmmaker. I know he did that really bad World of Warcraft movie, but I'm not going to hold that against him. Everybody has films that aren't the best or mistakes that they would love to rectify. I'm not going to hold that against him. But that is Moon, number 9 on my list. Number 8. And number 8 is not streaming anywhere right now, but a lot of you will probably have seen this one. Where is it? Yes. From the director of The Last Jedi, it's Looper. I love time travel movies in general, but this is the only one that made my list. I think this movie is intense and incredibly well acted. You got Emily Blunt, you've got Jogo and Bruce Willis, obviously. I think this movie is really strong. And some of the time travel things come off the rails a little bit at the end, but it doesn't bother me because the movie is so like tightly wound. And the journey that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's version of the younger Bruce Willis goes through, really, really well done. So if you don't know, this is Ryan Johnson, a really talented filmmaker. He did the Knives Out and Glass Onion films. He also did a great movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt called Brick, if you like noir like I do. And of course, he did The Last Jedi, which I know he gets a lot of grief for. But Looper is a really tightly wound piece, incredibly graphic, incredibly violent, but just really great character work going on. What's going on? Pew pew, Pedro. How you doing, sir? Let's see here. I've got some Looper fans here. I appreciate that there's some people that dig this movie like me. The 2 sci-fi movies that are always at the top of his list are Aliens and Terminator 2. Those are always great ones all time. I'm trying to stick to just the last 24 years, right? Just the 2000 to now. So hopefully some movies that maybe you missed, maybe you haven't seen, right? Carlito loves Looper. There it is. The science does get a little shaky. I'm not going to argue against that because time travel movies have that problem. Brooklyn likes this one. Nice. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, yes, he does a great job. And the makeup they do to make him look like Bruce Willis, really, really strong. Because definitely better choice than making Bruce look like Jogo was making Jogo look like Bruce, right? Let's see here. Big Bird used to call Mr. Hopper Mr. Looper. Okay, there you go. Mr. Hooper, Mr. Looper, sorry. Chicago Schultze, one love. Hope you're doing well. I walked out of that theater with a smile. I don't know what the rest of the world's problem was. Yeah, so if you like a good time travel film, you like a bit of an action thriller, I think the futuristic technology stuff going on here really worked for me. The universe building stuff really worked for me. I thought this was a whole lot of fun. So that is number 8, I believe, on my list. Yes. All right. The next one is one that some people would argue is not science fiction, but for me, the entire movie is built around a specific futuristic technology and the impact that technology is having on the population. And I love the way it's done. It's the least action. It's not an action film. This is definitely a drama. Yeah. And I just absolutely love it. So we're talking about Michel Gondry's The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a technology that allows you to erase memories and forget painful things from your past, and the impact that that can have as characters are dealing with this technology. And this movie has, and I leaves me thinking all kinds of things and have all kinds of concerns about technology and how we deal with grief and tragedy. I think this movie's fantastic. Did I mention Looper? Yeah, Looper and this film are not streaming anywhere right now, so you kind of got to buy this one or rent it or what have you. Michel Gondry is a great filmmaker. The visual style of this is fascinating. It's such a complex story, but it's told so intimately. And again, great performances. Elijah Wood with a funny little cameo performance. Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo, and of course, Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey as the leads. This movie really just hits, and emotionally is really challenging to watch because the comment seems to be that your grief matters, right? That your emotional journey matters, and that you can't throw those pieces away no matter how painful they are. You can't just shrug things off, but you need to allow them a place in who you are. So the beautiful film. And is it sci-fi? That's this one's on the border. For me, the technology that's all through the movie that's being utilized is science fiction, right? Is futuristic. And the presentation of it is very low tech, but the concepts are like a Black Mirror episode. It's just ongoing. Like this burrowed into my mind, and it has never really let me go. So it's been deep in my mind for sure. It looks like some people talking about Luke and Kylo Ren, and I get it. I love this. What is grief but love persisting? Preach, brother. Las Cruces is back. What's going on, Las Cruces? Good to see you, sir. So yeah, this is number 7 on my list. And let's see here. Number 6, I'm going way up to the top of my little list here. Yes. So this one is probably the most successful film on my list. Probably the highest grossing film on my list. Right up there. And I had to have at least one of these, or Carlito would be like, look, John, Christopher Nolan makes the best sci-fi movies, period. So I got to have a sci-fi by Christopher Nolan. The one that was most interesting to me as far as the technology, as far as the story and what it was trying to say, it's not Interstellar. I'm sorry, gang. Interstellar's fine, but it's not Inception. And I think this film works better as science fiction for me. Obviously, you got outer space and all that kind of science. The science is heavier in Interstellar, but the story doesn't hold up as well for me as Inception does. And I love the way they use this technology, and then the way that the dreams warp. The sci-fi action of Inception works better for me. Tenet is fantastic, and I love me some Tenet. And I think it's an underrated. And it made my 25 along with Interstellar. I have both of them on my 25, but they didn't make the top 10. Inception did. I just think it's a more interesting film, and for me, it's almost one of his most emotional films. The root of the drama between husband and wife in this is superb, really strong. Obviously, DiCaprio really great, Marion Cotillard really great. But the way they utilize the tech, right? It's one piece of technology, but they keep manipulating how they can utilize it. Really interesting stuff. And I think that the film plays on the expectations of that dream world and what you can do inside of it. I just find it riveting, and I've watched it many times. But I also love the love for Tenet in the chat. I do think it's potentially his most underrated film. And I've rewatched it many times. Yeah, that's one that I've probably rewatched more than a lot of his movies. And it's just because I feel like I get something new out of it each time I watch it. I feel like there's more to it that I can understand. And I think there's more pieces that I feel like connect when I watch it again and again. It rewards that review, right? This is a fun poster I found online. I don't know. It's not a regular release poster for sure. I don't know if this was like a fan made poster or an Etsy poster. I saw this and I was like, that is cool. I love the inverted city. I love the like maze and the light bulb. And I love the way they do your mind is the scene of the crime at the top. I thought it really came out strong. So I snagged this one. I tried to find posters that ideally were different than the normal posters you might find, but some of them, they just show up in really grainy, poor quality. This one came out really great. So yeah, Inception, probably the highest grossing one on my list, but a really great one if you haven't seen it. This next one was a smaller film by Alfonso Cuarón, who I'm a big fan of. He did the third Harry Potter film, which I love. He did, I think, Y Tu Mamá También. He did a lot of Spanish films that I think are really strong. And he did this sci-fi movie called Children of Men. This one has Julianne Moore. It has Clive Owen. And Michael Caine. This was a great, like, small budget sci-fi movie about a future where people aren't having children, unable to have children, and what happens to the first child that's born in X number of years. And really an intense film with some phenomenal photography, really understated use of camera work, really like long takes and stuff like that. So the science in this is all around fertility. It's all around what is going on with the birth rate in the world, and then what does that do as far as cult humans when they feel like the species might come to an end. Lots of really cool things happening here. The technology side is light, but the impact of it is what's the crux of the story. I'm a big Clive Owen fan. When I first saw him I think I saw him in The Bourne Identity, and then really soon after I found a film he did called Croupier, a British film where he was a writer working in a casino. I was like hooked. This guy, I find him very fascinating to watch. And then of course movies like Inside Man with Denzel Washington by Spike Lee. He captivates. I think he just really captivates. And in this, he has this sort of schlub of a character who's never really done anything worth anything in his life and regrets so much of his choices. And he's now like the hero. And I was like, oh, wow, this is fascinating. So Inception is not streaming anywhere, but this is on Stars. So if you have the Stars on your television at home, if you're a subscriber to that, or if you have the app, you can watch Children of Men by Alfonso Cuarón, a really great one. Lots of good options. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, I think it'd be a movie that you'll be really impressed by. And there's several shots in this that are like long, 2-3 minute takes. And the technology that they invented to kind of create some of those shots, really cool. Some really cool stuff. Let's see here. I want some comments on that. Air Spider really likes it. And Brooklyn says there's a book. Okay. I need to check that out. I'm finally making a new list on my phone since I lost the file list I started years ago. Lots of recommendations from Gore Vidal. I mean, he's got great ones, right? I need some Strawberry Cough from Michael Caine. I don't even know that one. You've now become my Flicks connection. I'm happy to help, sir. Happy to help for sure. This is one of the most solid watch lists I've seen. Great picks all around. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Cardstock Variant says, I love this topic being covered. Excited to watch from the start later. Catch that rewind, my friend. I appreciate it. Station to my man, Joel the Geek. What's going on, Joel? I appreciate you. We're counting down my favorite sci-fi films since 2000. So anything in the last 24 years is up for grabs. And I just finished number 5 on my list. So I'm in the top 4. Yeah, I'm in the top 4. And here's the cool thing about this. And the conversation I started with my mother-in-law that kind of kicked this all off. In my top 4, there's one filmmaker who has 2 of the movies. One filmmaker who took up 2 spots because his stuff really stuck with me, and that's like it left this imprint. And the first of his movies has Natalie Portman in the lead, and that is Annihilation. This is a great, wild ride. This movie is wild. Alex Garland is the filmmaker. He has a way of just burrowing into my mind, and this movie stuck with me. So Tessa Thompson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac, those are the lead actors in this. It's a mainly female-led story because it centers around a phenomenon that's like an iridescent dome that's changing a section of the United States. And anybody that goes in doesn't come out. And they're sending in a team of female military scientists to investigate after the team of male scientists. So it focuses on these ladies. Oscar Isaac plays Natalie's husband, who was in the male group, but he's the only one that made it back out again, and he's changed somehow. So it's all about kind of what happens inside this sphere, this dome. This one borders on horror, and if horror is not your jam, this one might be a little too intense for you because there are some creepy monsters. There is some graphic science-y stuff going on. This movie is claustrophobic and intense. It gave me modern Body Snatcher vibes, if you like that film. And I would not doubt this at all, Robert. That seems very accurate. Very accurate. Yeah, I can see that. That makes total sense. And that was my feelings from it too. This one's very intense, and I'm a big fan of it. It's stuck with me, and I've seen it 3 or 4 times. So definitely worth viewing if you haven't. This one is on Paramount. So if you've got Paramount Plus or you're a subscriber to Paramount, you can check out Annihilation for free. It's streaming over there. But I recommend Alex Garland in general. I just think he is top tier right now. I just think he makes really good stuff. I didn't see his Civil War movie because I did hear he didn't crush that one. That was his most recent film. But Annihilation is up there along with his next film, which savvy people in the chat guessed. It's Ex Machina. That's another one by Alex Garland. Absolutely fantastic movie. Domhnall Gleeson, Alicia Vikander, Oscar Isaac. This is a movie that plays on paranoia, plays on thriller elements. It has a sort of sci-fi Hitchcock vibe to it. This movie doesn't let go. It doesn't let go. So number 3 on my list, again, back to back, because I find Alex Garland to be a top tier filmmaker, and he's just been doing some great stuff. So I see some comments in the chat here. There it is. So what? Carly, that movie so underrated. Ex Machina was over the top. Love Annihilation, says Mike from Evil's Comics. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you, sir. Yeah, that's what I heard. Civil War was not so good. Ex Machina is superb. There we go. Some fans. Yeah, this movie is about AI. It's about artificial intelligence, but not the AI that makes your thumbnail. The AI that is like, is it conscious? And the idea, I think it's called the Bechdel test, right? The way of testing a computer program to see if it has achieved consciousness. That's the centerpiece of this film. Oscar Isaac is super creepy as a tech genius who has not maybe kept all of his marbles. There's real horror vibes here too, but it's less of the graphic horror. It's definitely more of a psychological thing that's slowly building. I'm a big Hitchcock fan, and to what Schultze's saying, this one has some of those Hitchcock vibes, and it just really hooked me in a big way. The cinematography, the production design, everything was just really intense, and then the ending so strong in both cases, Annihilation and this. Mike makes a great point. Not only is the soundtrack great, but the sound design, right? I think there's really great sound effects all the way through Annihilation that really create an atmosphere. So good. Alicia Vikander is great as the android. She's so strong. The Bechdel test is when women are talking. Is that what that one is? So I missed. There's the name of the test. There's a name for it where scientists are quizzing an artificial intelligence to determine if it has achieved consciousness. And that's the test that Domhnall Gleeson is giving to Alicia Vikander to determine the whether or not they are successful in creating this new artificial intelligence. But a really great movie. And yeah, number 3 on my list. This one, Ex Machina, is not streaming either. So I had there's 4 movies on my list not streaming. And I'll run through them all at the end just to remind you in case you were keeping track. You want to know, do I have that streaming service or not? But I got 2 left on my list. And we will get to them now. Let's see here. Where's my branding? Get rid of that. All right. Number 2 on my list is by a filmmaker that I think has been known for great science fiction for, is it maybe 45 years and maybe longer? Ridley Scott is an epic talent and has made so many phenomenal science fiction films. This is his most mainstream piece, and I think The Martian is amazing. And a beautiful adaptation of a fascinating, fun book. The Turing test. I should know that. Thank you, Synthetic Panels. Thank you for that. Yes, thank you, Carlito. I appreciate it. You guys reminded me of that. The Martian is great. The novel is phenomenal. There's an audiobook that's also amazing. And yeah, The Martian is just a top tier piece of entertainment. The science all the way through it, the ways in which they are manipulating science to achieve success, all just so tightly wound. The performances are all so strong. Obviously, Matt Damon at the lead of this entire endeavor, so amazing. But all the cast, every little actor who has a small part as a data analyst, it's just really, really, really strong. Jurassic Park was 1993, 4. It's got to be mid 90s. So disqualified. And there's no way I'm including Jurassic World in this list. That can take a hike. That's walking. Get it out of here. But yeah, this is just a great science movie, period. Science fiction, sure, but science movie. And yes, so I don't have Interstellar, but I have a different outer space movie. So at least we've got that going for us. I had an overwhelming urge to become a potato farmer thanks to The Martian. They give you the basics, although I wouldn't recommend using using stool samples from your house to do that. I was right. Did I say 93 as my first guess? Oh man, so proud of me. So yeah, The Martian is a great movie, and I think most people saw it. This was a very successful film, but if you somehow missed it, it's on HBO Max right now. You can cruise over to HBO Max and check out this film. There is also a really, I'm a physical media guy, like a lot of people in this chat. There is a great extended edition version of this on Blu-ray. and I love it. It's like an extra like 30 minutes of footage. Mark, I'm sure, has seen it. He's a big fan of that, of extended versions of movies. And this one's worth it. Like, I love the added footage. I think it's fantastic. I just wanted more time in this universe. So for me, it all was added useful stuff. Um, so yeah, I had an overwhelming urge to have Matt Damon on house arrest so he quits getting stuck alone in space. I get that. That makes sense. So that is number two. I want to say, ooh, there it is. I know Perry and Carlito could have guessed my number one. And I've talked about this movie a ton, and it's a movie that just, it hits with me. It's the first movie I wrote down when I started doing this list. It's a movie that wrecks me and messes me up, and it's Arrival. This is Denis Villeneuve, the filmmaker behind a lot of movies that could have made this list, a lot of movies that made my top 25 as far as Blade Runner 2049, as far as Dune 1 and 2. He makes good science fiction. He's, besides just being a really good filmmaker. I haven't seen his movie, I think it's called Enemy, about like doppelgangers, and I don't know if that's science fiction or not. I haven't seen it yet. But he makes great sci-fi. And I considered a lot of his movies, but absolutely love Arrival. And if you haven't seen it, it is on Paramount as well. And I hear there's a great novel behind this as well that I have not read or seen. But the movie Arrival, it's aliens, it's the technology of outer space travel, it's all kinds of interactions as far as like time travel, and it's got so many pieces that just hits right for me, and I can't get enough of it. And it's one that I've rewatched so many times. I think I've watched with my daughters at least twice, and then I've seen it countless other times. It's not a comfort movie watch, but it's more of a. But it does renew faith in humanity in a lot of ways. I found it just absolutely amazing, impactful, and performances from Jeremy Renner and Forrest Whitaker, and of course Amy Adams here on the poster. Really, really, really strong. And the science, yeah, fascinating science pieces. So let's see. We got Mark saying it wrecks. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Fully agree. Fully agree. What is going on from Bonjour from France? How are you? Ça va bien? Dune and Dune Part 2. Definitely some stuff going on there. So yeah, you're not wrong, Schultze. And that's ultimately where I'm at with Avatar. Is it's entertaining, but for me doesn't hold the weight of some of these others, and so makes my top 25 but not necessarily my top 10. Glad that you like this one, Robert. I appreciate that. There's a lot of heart. It surprised me at the end, but totally worth it. Love the time dissonance and language and deep meanings for sure. Underrated cinematography and also sound design and music, I think also really strong in Arrival. Really, really strong. Amy Adams, obviously great. The Matrix was in 1999. So it just missed the cutoff for the discussion I was having. But yes, obviously a phenomenal sci-fi film for sure. Yeah, the discussion around linguistics is definitely very strong. Auf Wiedersehen to Magic Lasso. Hope to catch you again soon, sir. Arrival was great. Science was interesting. Very rewatchable. Avatar 2 most definitely had the weight. I cried like a baby all 37 times I've watched it. Hard to be a dad and not cry in that film. It's powerful. Yeah. I've only seen that one the one time. I do need to rewatch it with the family again here soon. Not seeing 2040. There he is. There he is. See, he snuck in. He snuck in when nobody was watching. Gore snuck in. You got to watch out. So yeah, those are the top 10 that I've got. I can run through some of my quickly, some of my others, but let me just remind you of the top 10 so that you can cruise through and see if they're streaming anywhere near you. Rogue One is on Disney Plus. Moon is on Zumo. Looper and Eternal Sunshine and Ex Machina and Inception are not streaming. So those four you'll have to find on your own. I recommend the physical media if you can grab them. Children of Men is on Stars. Annihilation and Arrival are on Paramount if you've got it. The Martian is on HBO Max. So those are all out there. There were several people that mentioned Tom Cruise to me when I was making this list on Discord when we were talking. For me, Edge of Tomorrow was the number one I had from him. Oblivion, obviously, is another interesting one if you've missed out on that. So he's got a couple of good sci-fi films from the last few years that would be worth considering. We mentioned Tenet, all of the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes run, really strong, really good films. There's lots to enjoy there. I was about to say District 9, but there it is. Several people throwing out District 9. Really great sci-fi. That one came really close to cracking the list. What's going on, Steve? Hip Hops, what's going on, my man? Yeah, Oblivion is underrated. Like, not a lot of people saw it. I think for whatever reason, it was just bad timing. The movie did not do what it should have, but Edge of Tomorrow ranked above it for me. I love Edge of Tomorrow. Emily Blunt, so good. Here's one that I questioned. Is it science fiction? And really, the more you watch it, I think the more it is science fiction. And that's The Prestige. I really am a big fan of The Prestige as a film in general. It didn't rank high enough because for me, the science fiction seemed to be less important in the story. At the end, you get a little bit of the science fiction, but for the most of the movie, the science fiction is pushed backwards, right? V for Vendetta. Is it a science fiction film? Dystopian future film for sure, but science fiction? I had to mention it. Snowpiercer. Dystopian future. Is it science fiction? Snowpiercer right there. We mentioned, somebody in the chat mentioned Her, but a great movie. Really, Scarlett Johansson's just doing her voice in it, but she's so wonderful in Her. Great movie. Minority Report, another Tom Cruise one. Steven Spielberg, really strong movie. I think that one came close to cracking the top 10. I think a really powerful film. And then the one I use for my background when I end the show, you'll see it again, is Mad Max Fury Road. I think another really great. Is it a science fiction movie? It seems futuristic and obviously dystopian. That's a genre, because I felt like the science wasn't as interesting in those movies did not go as high on the list for me, but those are good ones to think about. So those are a few of the ones that I mentioned. Yes, Gary B, Ex Machina, and Annihilation, 2 movies from Alex Garland, both made the list. Is Johan Hansen like saying Johan, son of Johan? I mean, maybe. Let's see. Joel Xanadu. Say Xanadu over again. Sadly, only films from the last 24 years, right? Since 2000. About Time and Somewhere in Time are both amazing. I think About Time hits stronger than Somewhere in Time, but Somewhere in Time was way ahead of the game, like way ahead of what it was underappreciated in its time. I've never seen this, but I did hear good things about it. You a big fan there? Is it Wayne? Big fan of that one, because I've never seen that one. But there you go. Hopefully a few films that you can add to your list of things to watch if you're looking for things to find. I'm always happy to hear your recommendations. So if you're catching this on the replay and you want to leave a comment for a movie that you saw that you're like, oh, this is one you should consider. It didn't even make my backup list, my other 15. Under the Skin is another one I considered for sure. Great film, and definitely sci-fi and horror as well, obviously. But a really good one. Plus, Scarlett Johansson ain't no bad to look at, right? What's up, Vinny? Just jumped in morning. Did we mention that movie about women around the world becoming infertile? Sorry, I forgot it. It's called Children of Men, and yes, it made my top 10. Good pick. Timberlake's In Time. That's the one when he's got the countdown, right? Like you're to your death, right? Yeah, that's a crazy twisted ride. From the same guy who wrote Gattaca, which is another great sci-fi movie, but from the 90s, so it didn't qualify. I like Gattaca a ton. Really strong. I just did Furiosa, the Fury Road double feature, a must do, highly recommend. I do need to see Furiosa. I heard good things about that one. But I'm going to get out of here. We got soccer coming up. It's going to be a busy soccer day, and there's a birthday party as well. Lots going on. I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoys fun time with friends and family and all that good stuff. But until next week I'm on No Good Comics channel on Tuesday because we're doing our Omni X-Men kickoff show. We're talking about Ooh, if I can pick it up because it's a heavy omnibus. Ooh, we're going to let you know what we're talking about this season, all the good things that we're going to be sharing and reading. I know I got to hit up Joel the Geek because I think he was looking for joining us to talk about an issue of New Mutants. Ooh. And that's Tuesday. It should be a whole lot of fun. But just keep a watch out. Will be lots of fun things coming up in the coming weeks, obviously, as we lead into the big event 2 weeks away. C3, Comics Curing Cancer. Please save up a little money and then hit all the notification bells so that you are there for all of the fun events in 2 weeks. And support my friend Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart. I pinned her link at the top of this video. So if you have $10 that you can share for her to assist with her financial challenges, I appreciate that, so that she's not battling cancer with finances and health at the same time. So I appreciate you guys who are doing that. Very, very much appreciated. I'm going to get out of here and get on with my day. I appreciate everybody for coming by, and we'll catch you again soon.